Welcome into the Commander's Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and we have big news for you here on the show as Browns superstar edge rusher Myles Garrett has officially requested a trade away from the Cleveland Browns. And today on the show, I'm going to tell you why Washington should not only make a play for Myles Garrett, but also why I think they are the favorite to land the superstar edge rusher via trade this offseason. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon right now if you haven't already. If you want Myles Garrett to be a Washington Commander in 2025 and beyond, you guys might have noticed that we are coming to you from a different location today. I'm actually in New Orleans to give you guys extensive coverage here at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans through Tuesday through Thursday. We'll be on Radio Row, so you guys will be seeing me at Radio Row tomorrow. But I just want to thank you guys for all the support because the success of this channel has allowed us to be able to go to New Orleans this year. So now let's get into the news. And Myles Garrett put out this statement earlier today. He said, as a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. So Mike Garafolo on NFL Network reached out to the Cleveland Browns for an official statement. This is what he had to say on the Insiders earlier today. They are sticking to their stance and do not intend to have any conversations to trade Myles Garrett. So Cleveland, at least in terms of outward appearances, is still holding firm to what they said earlier last week, actually, that they are not entertaining a trade for Myles Garrett. And honestly, guys, even if they were entertaining it, they wouldn't be telling us that, all right? Because the reason for that is that they don't want to give away any leverage in potential negotiations. Of course, they're going to say, oh, he's unavailable. It's only going to take a crazy amount in terms of a trade package for us to even consider it because they want to get the best possible trade package for Myles Garrett. Now, maybe, Andrew Berry, their GM, and Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, they're going to do whatever it takes to keep Myles Garrett in Cleveland, Ohio for the foreseeable future. Maybe they'll give him some input on the quarterback situation and on their first-round draft pick this year. Of course, they have a top 2 draft pick this year, number 2 overall. So, maybe they give him a new contract. He doesn't have a ton of guaranteed money on his deal. Maybe they make him the highest paid defensive player in the history of the National Football League. There's still things that Cleveland could do to try and keep him in Cleveland and try to make him happy. But don't be fooled, guys. They will take calls when it comes to Myles Garrett. They will take a call from Adam Peters, the Commanders GM, if he calls to see what the offer would be. And I do think that it would be probably pretty darn expensive. And we're going to talk about what it's probably going to cost the Washington Commanders to go out and get a guy like Myles Garrett on the trade market this offseason. And then we'll discuss my thoughts on whether that price tag is worth it for this team to go out and get arguably the best defensive player in the National Football League. So coming up here on the Commanders Report, I'm going to tell you why Washington should make a play for Myles Garrett and at least give the Cleveland Browns a call to see what's the price tag's going to be for Mr. Garrett. But before we get into the rest of today's content, let me know down there in the comments section, what is your one-word reaction to the Myles Garrett news today? This will be the pinned comment on today's show. So in just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at GameTime. And while I'm talking about GameTime, go down there in the comments section, find that pinned comment, and let me know your one-word reaction. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at GameTime, which is the best place for you to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do, guys, is select an event you want to go see on the GameTime app, select the GameTime Picks button at the top of the screen, and GameTime automatically filters with their entire database of tickets to find you the best tickets at the best prices with the best views so that you and your family can get the best possible deals on any ticket you get to any live event. And it's more than just sports, guys. It's comedy, it's theater, it's concerts, it's all that great stuff. And what I love about using the GameTime app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing, so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, which is a great feature, by the way. And also, you get flash deals right before the start of the event. So if you, like me, like to procrastinate to get your tickets, you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the event. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, guys. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. It's right down there on the bottom of your screen right now for $20 off that first purchase. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. So my take on this situation is that the Washington Commanders should do what it takes to get Myles Garrett in a Washington Commanders uniform in 2025. I think that this guy is a top 3 defensive player in all of football, maybe even number 1 in our sport today, and this guy would make the biggest possible impact on the defensive side of the ball. We know you got Jaden Daniels, you know you got Terry McLaurin, you know you got Cliff Kingsbury to handle the offensive side of the ball. We know the offense is good enough to potentially win a championship here in Washington moving forward. It's the defense that needs to take that step forward, and Myles Garrett can help you take that massive leap, especially when it comes to the pass rush. You take a look at his numbers throughout the last 4 seasons, it's as good as anybody in football, man. At least 14 sacks in each of his last 4 seasons. He creates fumbles opportunities as well. Lots of tackles for losses, one of the best run defenders in the National Football League as well. And also, guys, he is a perfect fit for what Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. want in a defensive end. They like these bigger type of guys that can not only get after the passer, but can also set the edge against the run. Myles Garrett fits that mold absolutely perfectly. And also, guys, keep in mind here that Myles Garrett wants to play for a competitor in 2025 and beyond. The Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels on his rookie contract can certainly fit his demands. And plain and simply, guys, when it comes to defensive players, we've talked about Khalil Mack here during the offseason process already. Listen, man, like Khalil Mack is a really, really freaking good player, even at his age, but Myles Garrett is younger and he is even better. And I think that if you can land a guy like Myles Garrett, somebody that's going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year every single season moving forward, that is absolutely worth the price tag that it's going to cost to go out and get Myles Garrett to put him in a Washington Commanders uniform. But I want to keep you guys in the loop here, and I just want to let you guys know he's going to be expensive, all right? You're going to have to, in order to get this guy, you know, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, you are going to have to pay a very, very heavy premium to bring him to the nation's capital. This was put out earlier by Spotrac in terms of the money that the team would be acquiring here if you trade for Myles Garrett. Now, the base salary and the non-guaranteed money here, $19.8 million in 2025 and then $25 million in 2026. But I will point out here, guys, that Myles Garrett, if he does get traded, he's likely going to want to get a new contract that makes him the highest paid defensive player in all of the National Football League. So to look back here at kind of what the precedent is for a star edge rusher in his prime demanding a trade out of his current team, we have to look back at the Khalil Mack trade all those years back here, even before COVID, this ended up happening. And Khalil went for 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a 6th-round pick, but the Bears did receive a 2nd and a 5th-rounder back, and that 5th-rounder was conditional. So when I look at the price tag, guys, I think it's going to be at least 2 first-rounders to get him in your building. And honestly, it might be even more than that. There's going to be a lot of teams interested in Garrett's services. And, you know, I don't know how many teams out there are going to be willing to part ways with 2 first-round picks and pay Myles Garrett as the, you know, highest paid defensive player in all of football. I know the Commanders are one of those teams, but the teams that are going to be in on Myles Garrett are going to be willing to send a lot of draft capital to make him a part of their franchise. But I will also say, keep this in mind, guys. With a star quarterback already here in Washington and Jaden Daniels, he's under his rookie contract. For the Washington Commanders to give up 2 first-round draft picks for a player like Myles Garrett is something that I think would be a very good investment. You're not going to be spending those first-round picks on like a quarterback or somebody that's going to be a very core piece of your offense. You already have Terry McLaurin, who you're probably going to be signing to an extension. I'm guessing this year, even if you send your first-round pick this year, you're going to use your second-round draft pick on another wide receiver to pair with Jaden Daniels. I think that if you make this trade, it's absolutely worth the investment because you're bringing in a guy in Myles Garrett that can take this defense to a whole nother level just by his presence alone. And that's not even counting the other additions that this team can make with the close to $100 million in cap space they're going to have in NFL free agency, not to mention the other draft picks that they're going to have at their disposal this offseason as well. So I think it's absolutely worth it for the Washington Commanders to give up at least 2 first-round picks. And honestly, I would consider giving up more for Myles Garrett. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Would you accept this trade? Would you send 2 first-round draft picks? I know it's a high price tag, guys, but I think it might be worth it. Would you accept this trade for Myles Garrett? Give me an A for accept or D for decline down there in the comment section. For me, I'm typing my A for accept. I'm trying to win Super Bowls right now here in DC, guys. Myles Garrett can help us do that, so I'm going to be typing my A for accept. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to have extensive coverage on the Washington Commanders right from Radio Row here in New Orleans, Louisiana at Super Bowl 59 Media Week. And then also if the Commanders do trade for Myles Garrett, which I think at this point is a pretty decent possibility with all the different things going on in the Commanders organization, the cap space, the draft capital that they have at their disposal, the fact that they have their quarterback already set. I think the Commanders might be the most likely team to land Myles Garrett. So if that happens, we're going to go live and we're going to get you extensive coverage of that trade when it happens. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.